A telephone call was held between His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa and the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. His Royal Highness reviewed the strength of Bahrain-U.S. partnership, highlighting the importance of bolstering joint coordination to achieve common goals and interests. Regional and global issues of common interest were also discussed, as well as the latest developments in the Middle East, including the situation in Gaza. On the Gaza conflict, His Royal Highness underscored Bahrain's firm stance towards the Palestinian cause and its unwavering commitment to reaching a peaceful, lasting and fair solution in support of Palestinians' legitimate right to establish an independent state with East Jerusalem as its capital. His Royal Highness further outlined the importance of protecting civilian lives and de-escalating violence, which threatens regional security and stability. The Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa chaired the weekly cabinet meeting at Gdibiyya Palace. The cabinet commended the outcomes of the meeting that took place between His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Majesty King Abdullah II bin Al Hussein of Jordan. The cabinet emphasized the importance of His Majesty the King's visit to Jordan and furthering economic cooperation between the two countries. The cabinet underscored the importance of the official talks held between His Majesty the King and the President of Egypt Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, noting the outcomes of the visit and bolstering bilateral cooperation across the economic and security sectors, and to further joint coordination in facing current regional challenges. The cabinet then reviewed achievements following His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa's directives to assess flood-related damages to compensate those affected, identify areas adversely affected by the rainfall, and develop sustainable infrastructure and drainage solutions in line with best practices. The cabinet reviewed the report submitted by the Minister of Interior and Chairman of the Civil Defense Council regarding the efforts of public ministries and entities in responding to the recent heavy rainfall. The cabinet further followed up on the procedures taken by concerned authorities in managing the Babka refinery oil tank leak in accordance with safety and security standards. This follows the cabinet review of a report submitted by the Minister of Oil and Environment. The cabinet also reviewed the academic process across several private and public institutions following the temporary period of remote learning. In this regard, the cabinet directed the Ministry of Education to ensure a smooth remote learning process. The cabinet then approved the following: a memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs regarding the implementation of the private clinic building project at Salmaniya Medical Complex, and a memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs on the government's response to 3 proposals and 2 laws submitted by the Representatives Council and a law submitted by the Shura Council. The cabinet then took note of the following ministerial reports: the outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the 2nd GCC Central Asia Joint Ministerial Meeting on Strategic Dialogue, the outcomes of the official visit made by the Minister of Foreign Affairs to Palestine, the outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the 2023 spring meetings of the World Bank Group and the International Monetary Fund, the outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the Our Ocean Conference, the outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the 14th session of the Assembly of the International Renewable Energy Agency and related meetings, and the outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the ECOSOC Youth Forum. The National Security Advisor, Lieutenant General His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, received the Minister of State for Middle East, North Africa, South Asia and the United Nations at the UK Department of Foreign Affairs and Development, Lord Tariq Ahmed. His Highness praised the relations between Bahrain and UK in all fields and affirmed keenness to further develop these relations to benefit both countries. They discussed ways to further enhance the bilateral cooperation and coordination regarding providing aid to the people of Gaza, affirming Bahrain's keenness to provide humanitarian aid to Palestine. His Highness also discussed ways to enhance the bilateral strategic cooperation and discussed a number of regional and international issues. The royal speeches of His Majesty the King and various Arab summits affirmed the integrated vision and comprehensive strategy of the Kingdom of Bahrain in supporting Arab national security. More in this report. The royal speeches of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa in all forums embody the integrated vision and comprehensive strategy in support of Arab national security. In all his speeches, His Majesty is keen to affirm the Kingdom of Bahrain's position in support of joint Arab action, which embodies the extent of His Majesty's belief in the importance of improving the Arab collective action system and enhancing its ability to achieve the aspired goals. These words also strengthen the pillars of Arab integration in the face of dangers and challenges in order to move forward in achieving the desired goals of joint Arab action. The Kingdom of Bahrain plays a prominent role in supporting Arab efforts to confront all challenges, to consolidate everything that would support security, peace and stability in order to enhance unity and Arab solidarity. Continuing to defend Arab issues everywhere and at all times, the Kingdom of Bahrain stands united with its brothers from the Arab world against any interference in its internal affairs, which has gained recognition and trust thanks to the bright visions of His Majesty the King and his distinguished fraternal relations with the brothers from the Arab countries. The Kingdom of Bahrain's hosting of the upcoming Arab Summit in its 33rd edition affirms its firm positions to work to enhance integration and coordination and discuss crucial issues that concern all Arab countries. The Arab League, which includes 22 Arab countries that have been meeting since 1945, is proof of the close ties between Arab states and their peoples. The Minister of Sustainable Development and CEO of the Economic Development Board, Noor Al-Khleif, met with a number of international financial, banking and advisory institutions in the U.S. The Minister emphasized the pioneering role of the financial and banking sector as one of the sectors supporting economic growth in the Kingdom of Bahrain and the importance of the sector in creating investment opportunities that benefits all. She affirmed Bahrain's keenness to provide all facilitations needed to support this sector to reflect positively on the national economy. A number of topics of mutual concern were discussed during the meeting, in addition to discussing recent economic developments on the international level. The capital governor, Sheikh Rashid bin Abdul Rahman Al Khalifa, inaugurated the 9th edition of the Manama Entrepreneurship Week, organized by the Capital Governorate in cooperation with Tamkeen under the theme Smart Cities and Entrepreneurship. The event was attended by the Minister of Sustainable Development, Noor Al-Khleif, the Minister of Industry and Commerce, Abdullah Fakhro, and more than 500 participants. The governor affirmed the governor's keenness to support initiatives that provide a supportive environment for entrepreneurs and encourage them in the field of smart cities in order to achieve sustainability. He stressed the importance of digital transformation in enhancing quality of life and developing societies. The event included an opening session participated by the Minister of Sustainable Development and the Minister of Industry and Commerce. Bahrain's e-passport won the Eye of Design Award 2024 for the Communication and Publishing category in Germany. On this occasion, the Interior Ministry Under-Secretary for Nationality, Passports and Residence Affairs, Sheikh Hisham bin Abdulrahman Al Khalifa, expressed gratitude for the high level of appreciation that is considered an international honoring to the kingdom under the leadership of His Majesty the King, with the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. He also highlighted the support of the Interior Minister, General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, who contributed to achieving international accomplishments and awards. He stressed that this achievement is added to the kingdom's record of achievements in the field of design and creativity. The award is one of the oldest and most prestigious international awards in the field of design since 1953 and annually receives more than 11,000 participation from all over the world. The CEO of BOPCO, Dr. Abdurrahman Jawahari, affirmed that due to the exceptional and unstable weather conditions that the Kingdom of Bahrain witnessed during the past week, it led to a technical defect in one of the oil tanks located in Sitra, and in light of this, a state of maximum emergency was declared in the company, and all the necessary measures in coordination with the concerned authorities to mitigate the escalation of the situation were taken. Dr. Jawahari reassured all citizens and residents that the percentage of the substance leaked from one of the tanks and present in the air is not harmful and does not affect one's health. 25 international human rights organizations, including organizations operating in the EU and others at the UN, issued a joint statement in which they praised the royal pardon issued by His Majesty the King, which included 1,584 inmates convicted of rioting and criminal cases. The President of the Arab Union for Human Rights, Isa Al-Arabi, expressed the appreciation of international organizations for the royal pardon. On behalf of international organizations, he praised the royal decree and the principles and values it represents in prioritizing Bahrain's national interest and the interest of those included in the royal pardon. He added that it also provides the inmates with the opportunity to re-engage positively in society and contribute effectively to the development process. International organizations praise the directives of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister on the rehabilitation and training of those included in the royal pardon and working to integrate them into the labor market. Colors fly by as Filipino Creatives Bahrain is having their grand exhibit of the year starting from 21st of April until the 3rd of May 2024. The exhibition celebrates their 6th year anniversary in the arts industry. The event is in collaboration with the Philippine Embassy in Bahrain, headed by Ambassador Anne Jolanduan Lewis. There will be 44 artists participating in the event, 23 established artists consisting of Filipinos, Bahrainis and Bahrain-based international artists, and 21 young Filipino artists from Philippine School Bahrain. The exhibit will showcase different forms of art pieces portrayed through painting, sculptures and other digital and mixed media artworks.
The Philippine Embassy here in Manama, Kingdom of Bahrain, is pleased to support the efforts of Filipino Creatives Bahrain. They're a group of very talented Filipino visual artists, and they are into painting, sculptures, and other works of art. And the embassy is pleased to support this because in a way it promotes Philippine culture, history, and the great artistic talents of the Filipinos.
The theme this time was a little bit difficult for me because it's ethereal and I am a very earthy person. But I painted ethereal light. It's like polar light, north light, you know. And I put even on my painting like a phantom of first satellite which people sent to the space in 1957.
The first art is entitled The Metaphor for Life, which resembles the life cycle of a butterfly and it is also similar to our own life, which it just goes on and on and on. And the second one is entitled The Emblem of Rebirth, because butterfly is a symbol of rebirth, and like we are hopeful all the time that whenever we do something, we can always go back, you know. And the third one is entitled Embracing Hope. Butterfly also resembles hope.
My first painting was for my mother. It was a portrait of a parrot, which I made it from a glass. And from there, I started my journey and I continue. I stopped for a while, and then in 1980s I went back and I studied art with a teacher from Bayan School, and from there he encouraged me. Today I'm presenting two art. It's Forbidden Love and The Cocoon of Love, and it is inspired by a novel I read for Vladimir Nabokov. It's a Russian-American novelist.